Lights down, silence up. Hollywood gave them the stage, but only if they stayed quiet. Tonight, that silence ends. From shattered auditions to whispered confessions and unapologetic pride, these 9 stars chose fire over fear. Some were punished. Some became legends. All of them burned through the scripts written for them and wrote their own. If you've ever wondered what it really costs to live out loud, keep watching. 1. Andrew Matarazzo. The flame that burned through silence. He was never just pretty. He was haunting. Andrew Matarazzo entered Hollywood with the kind of beauty that made directors look twice, but he stayed because he made them feel. That's the difference. A jawline may get you cast, but it's truth that holds the lens. And Andrew never flinched from his. Born in Brazil, raised in Miami, Andrew grew up between cultures, languages, and expectations. He knew early on that being sensitive, emotional, soft, queer was something the world tried to punish out of boys like him. So he learned how to survive. Stay quiet, stay perfect, stay small. But survival isn't living. His breakout on Teen Wolf was ironic. He played a villain, a dangerous, magnetic presence that viewers couldn't look away from. What they didn't know was that Andrew was channeling years of masked pain. The performance wasn't crafted, it was released. For years, he kept his identity off the record. Too many casting directors still whispered, "Don't be too open, don't scare the audience." But Andrew was done shrinking. In quiet interviews and subtle captions, he began to name it. He was queer and proud. Not loud, not flashy, just true. Today, he speaks about it openly, not as a statement, but as a legacy. I used to think hiding would save my career. Now I know honesty saves my soul. He's building a future where young queer actors don't have to choose between art and self. His face may be carved from marble, but his power? It's fire. If Andrew's story reminded you that beauty means nothing without truth, hit subscribe. Let's build a world where boys don't have to apologize for feeling too much. 2. Taylor Zakhar Perez. The prince who dared to be complicated Hollywood tried to crown him rom-com king, heartthrob, Latino dream. But Taylor Zakhar Perez wasn't here for the crown. He was here to break the palace walls. Born to a Mexican-American family in Chicago, Taylor didn't grow up with privilege. No famous parents, no red carpet shortcuts, just raw talent and relentless focus. He built his career role by role, audition by audition, until the world met Marco Peña, the charming guitar-strumming force in The Kissing Booth 2. Overnight, he became the crush. But Taylor wanted more than thirst. He wanted impact. In 2023, he said yes to Red, White, and Royal Blue, a queer political fairy tale. Some actors would have hesitated. Is it too gay? Will I lose my fan base? Taylor didn't blink. As Alex Claremont Diaz, he brought heat, humor, heartbreak, and hope. The chemistry was undeniable. The representation? Historic. And still, the questions came. Is he gay? Is he straight? Why won't he define it? But maybe that's the point. Taylor's queerness isn't something to pin down and label. It's layered, lived, human. And through his advocacy for LGBTQ+ rights, his passion for Latinx visibility, and his refusal to dull his edges for the industry, he's turning ambiguity into activism. He's not here to fit your fantasy. He's here to stretch it. If Taylor's story ever made you believe that softness and pride can live in the same body, subscribe now. Because this isn't just about representation, it's about liberation. 3. Nico Greetham. He danced through fire to get here. Some actors arrived polished. Nico Greetham arrived bruised, burning, and already dancing. He grew up in Virginia, a boy who loved ballet in a world that told him boys shouldn't. He trained in secret sometimes. Other times, he trained through stairs. through slurs, through fear. But the stage gave him something real, a place where he didn't have to pretend to be smaller. At 18, he stunned America on So You Think You Can Dance. But Nico didn't just dance, he confessed with his body. Every step said, "This is what you tried to crush, I'm still here." Hollywood took notice. Power Rangers cast him as the Yellow Ranger. Safe, marketable. But Nico wasn't interested in safe. He was chasing something that hurt to look at, and he found it. In American Horror Story, NYC, he played a queer hustler navigating desire, danger, and dignity. The performance was raw, vulnerable, terrifying. Not because it was shocking, but because it was real. For once, a queer role wasn't a caricature. It was a cry. And in 2022, Nico stopped hiding. "I'm queer," he said, "and I'm done playing it safe." Since then, he's been everywhere. Queer indies, pride campaigns, LGBTQ+ panels. Not screaming, just showing up, fully. He tells young artists, "Your softness is not a flaw. It's your revolution." If Nico ever made you feel like your tenderness was powerful, subscribe now. He didn't just survive Hollywood, he's redefining it. One painful, gorgeous step at a time. 4. Cooper Koch, the horror prince who refused to die. Quietly, Cooper Koch has the kind of face Hollywood adores. Angular, blue-eyed, eerily symmetrical. He could have coasted, could have played the clean-cut heartthrob, booked romantic leads, and smiled through press junkets. Instead, he walked straight into the shadows and lit them up. His breakout in They Them wasn't your average gay role, it was horror, conversion camps, psychological torment. And Cooper didn't blink. He didn't flinch from queer pain. He embodied it, not for shock, but for survival. Then came Swallowed, a queer body horror film about desire, fear, and the grotesque beauty of being too much. Critics called it uncomfortable. Some audiences walked out. Others whispered, "Thank you." Cooper never apologized. He told press, queerness isn't always pretty. Sometimes it's bloody, and sometimes that's where the power is. And suddenly, he wasn't just an actor. He was a question mark. Should queer actors stop playing trauma? Or do we still need to see it to heal? Some accused him of fetishizing pain. Others said he was reclaiming it. What's clear is this: Cooper is not playing it safe. He's redefining what it means to be a queer star in horror. A space that's always welcomed monsters, but rarely welcomed truth. Now he's being eyed for a major horror reboot. They want his blood, his beauty, his bravery. And Cooper? He wants the audience to squirm and stay. If you believe horror can be healing and that queer stories deserve to be raw, messy, and unforgettable, subscribe. Then tell us in the comments, is Cooper Koch too dark for mainstream fame? Or exactly what Hollywood needs? 5. Tramell Tillman. When the spotlight finally found the Invisible Man. Tramell Tillman was the kind of actor whose face lingered in your memory, even when you couldn't recall his name. Tall, handsome, dark-haired, with a voice that could command a boardroom or whisper a secret. It all hinted at more than just screen presence. Then he ascended. With Severance, he exploded into the view of a global audience, and not just because of his charisma, because of his truth. Tillman didn't start as an actor. He spent a decade in the nonprofit sector, helping others, hiding his own hunger to be seen. Then he dared to show up, to audition, to fight, to risk. And the industry? It took notice. But here's the part they don't always tell you. He was openly gay. He feared the cost. He admits the fear of being typecast, of being silenced, of being invisible again. And yet, he persevered. He became one of the first openly gay black men nominated in the Emmy Outstanding Supporting Actor Drama Series category. What does it mean to watch someone like Tramell? It means watching someone dismantle the script that told him to stay small. Dazzling looks? Check. Magnetic performance? Check. But most importantly, open authenticity. He shows the kid who hates his reflection that maybe the mirror's lying. He's not just hot because he looks good on camera. He's hot because he owned the camera that refused to see him. Because when he leaned into his queerness, his blackness, his vulnerability, he set the scene on fire. If Tramell Tillman's journey made your heart ache, made you hope, made you whisper, "That could be me," then hit subscribe. And tell us, was it the heroism or the reveal that made you believe? 6. Zane Phillips. The Greek god good looks who wears his truth like armor. Zane Phillips? Please, he's face model flawless. Tall, sculpted, chiseled, the kind of look that breaks filters and tabloid covers. But you don't become an icon just for your jawline. You become an icon when you flip the script. Zane grew up in Texas, moved to New York to chase Broadway dreams, then Hollywood followed. He landed roles in queer-lit projects, Fire Island, and a starring role in the series Glamorous. He didn't just play gay, he embraced it. He said, "I'm gay, I'm done hiding." Some will glare and ask, why flaunt it? But here's the truth, he is flaunting it, and he should. Because for too long, the ideal was straight presenting with gay undertones. Zane abandons that. He gives you full color, full truth, hot as hell. He's not allowed to be the nice gay friend anymore. He's the lead, the desire, the controversy. When he announced starring in the queer erotic thriller Strangers on a Beach alongside Jelani Aladdin, the internet hissed, "Are they going too far?" Maybe. Or maybe they've been going too little for too long. Zane's story isn't soft, it's brazen. Because he wants the kids who turned off their screens when the gay moment ended to turn them on, to stay, to feel, to believe. If Zane Phillips made you gasp, made you scroll back, made you heart pause, then subscribe and drop in comments. Is he the future of queer Hollywood, or the moment the industry finally had to catch up? 7. Matt Bomer. The man who lost Superman but gave us super truth. Imagine looking at someone and thinking, that could have been Superman. Because it almost was for Matt Bomer. He auditioned, almost landed the role, then lost it for being gay. He doesn't hide it. He calls it what it is. Weaponized. He's been a dreamboat since White Collar, a sex symbol in Magic Mike, a powerhouse in roles that ask more than, "Are you handsome?" He asks, "Will you fight for your truth?" In 2012, he publicly came out while accepting the Steve Chase Humanitarian Award. He thanked his husband Simon Halls and their kids. Because for him, the show of strength wasn't in hiding, it was in being unapologetically himself. But make no mistake, this isn't a comfortable story. He still says he lost parts because of who he is. The industry still whispers, the mirror still invades, and yet, he keeps smiling, he keeps starring, he keeps standing tall, because pretty faces fade, truth is forever. And here's the hot part, he's still got it. The looks, the presence, but now with layers, scars, legacy, pride. If Matt Bomer's life made you tear up, made you stand up, made you want to say it's possible, then hit subscribe and comment. Was it justice denied or the justice eventually served? 8. Luke Evans. The action star who made his truth a bullet. He carried the body of a hero before he owned the truth of a human. Luke Evans blasted into Hollywood on the wings of gods and villains, Apollo in Clash of the Titans, Bard the Bowman in The Hobbit, Gaston in Beauty and the Beast. He had the jaw-chiseled looks, the accent, the swagger. He had the perfect package, but behind the spotlight, something heavier. Secrecy, expectation, self-doubt. Raised in South Wales in a strict Jehovah's Witness community, Luke knew from a young age that his desires were at war with his environment. "I thought I'd die at Armageddon," he admitted. Fear and faith warred inside him. The school bullies didn't just mock his sexuality, they mocked his difference before he even understood it. By 16, Luke had fled the only world he'd ever known to chase the one he could dream. When he emerged in Hollywood, he didn't just act, he conquered genres never intended for out gay men. He portrayed action heroes, love interests, bad guys. Yet the industry still wondered, can a gay man lead? Luke answered by doing exactly that, but his truth couldn't stay hidden forever. In interviews, he revealed how he was bullied for being gay before I even understood what it meant. And he revealed that being handsome enough didn't shield him from the closet. Rather, it bought him entry into worlds where his identity still had to stay silent. Today, Luke walks red carpets with a partner by his side, writes a memoir, and uses his body and presence not just to attract, but to represent. He didn't let his machismo alone define his career. He let his vulnerability do that too. He became the kind of leading man who whispers, "I'm gay, I'm here, I'm human." But here's where the debate kicks in. Some fans wonder if his masculine out gay man playing straight roles is a cheat code or a new blueprint. Is Hollywood only willing to accept gay actors when they fit the straight hero double bind? Luke says no. He says the code is broken. If Luke Evans ever made your heart race, ever made you believe that heroes come in velvet shadows and loud roars, then hit subscribe. Drop a comment. Is his story the future of queer Hollywood leading men, or the only example so far of how hard we still must fight? 9. Teo Yoo. Too foreign for Korea, too Asian for Hollywood, too powerful to ignore. Teo Yoo didn't ask to be a symbol, but when the world keeps erasing people like you, sometimes existence becomes resistance. Born in Germany to Korean parents, Teo grew up between languages, cultures, and skin-deep assumptions. For years, he wasn't Korean enough for Korea and too Asian for Hollywood. He studied philosophy before finding his calling in acting, and when he found it, he came for everything. His breakthrough came quietly, devastatingly in past lives, as Hae-sung, the man who almost had the love of his life. The performance wasn't flashy. It was slow ache, a masterclass in restraint. Viewers sobbed, critics swooned. Suddenly, a man they once overlooked became the emotional epicenter of global cinema. And then came the quiet bombshell. Teo was queer. Softly revealed in interviews, not headline chasing, just true. Some fans flinched, especially in Korea. Why now? Is this real? Will this ruin the fantasy? But fantasy was never the goal. Freedom was. Teo knew what he was risking: leading man status, Asian masculinity's delicate reputation, roles already too scarce. But he said it anyway. And for thousands of queer Asian kids who had never seen someone like them, desired, respected, centered, he became a lighthouse. In an industry obsessed with loud, Teo wins with quiet devastation. And that makes some people uncomfortable, because when someone tells the truth so gently, you can't help but hear it. If Teo made you rethink what a leading man can look like, love like, live like, then hit subscribe. And tell us, should queerness always be loud and proud? Or is grace a protest too? They were too soft, too dark, too pretty, too loud. Until they weren't. These stars didn't just come out, they came through, and every scar became a spotlight. So, if any moment made your chest tighten, made your heart break, or beat faster, hit subscribe. Ring the bell. Drop a name, a number, a memory. Tell us whose truth made you believe your own was worth telling. Because here on Silent Fame, visibility isn't scandal. It's survival.